It's Saturday, May the 16th, 2026. You're listening to the DX Today AI Daily Brief. Today, OpenAI brings personal finance into ChatGPT through a Plaid partnership. Anthropic and the Gates Foundation commit $200 million to global health and education. And a Stanford spinout called GridCARE raises $64 million to fast-track power for AI data centers. Let's get into it.
OpenAI on Friday rolled out a personal finance preview inside ChatGPT, letting Pro subscribers in the United States securely link their bank accounts, credit cards, brokerage accounts, and investment portfolios. The integration is powered by Plaid, the financial connectivity platform that already plugs into more than 12,000 institutions, including Chase, Fidelity, Schwab, Robinhood, and American Express. ChatGPT now presents a live spending dashboard, subscription tracker, and portfolio view, and can answer grounded questions about cash flow, budgeting, and savings goals. Access is read only at launch. The feature is exclusive to the $100 a month Pro tier and represents OpenAI's clearest move yet into consumer fintech.
From consumer finance to global development.
Anthropic and the Gates Foundation on Thursday announced a $200 million partnership aimed at scaling AI into the parts of the world that markets typically ignore. The 4-year commitment combines grant funding, Claude usage credits, and engineering support targeted at global health, life sciences, education, and economic mobility. The largest tranche will focus on health outcomes in low- and middle-income countries where roughly 4.6 billion people lack basic care, and on accelerating vaccines and therapies for neglected diseases like polio, HPV, and preeclampsia. A second pillar funds African language data collection so frontier models stop performing poorly outside English. CEO Dario Amodei called it central to Anthropic's mission.
Now to enterprise software.
SAP used its Sapphire conference in Orlando this week to unveil a unified SAP Business AI platform, the company's most ambitious play yet to anchor enterprise AI inside its core ERP estate. The new platform deepens partnerships with Anthropic, Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud, Microsoft, NVIDIA, and Palantir, and frames SAP as the substrate for what CEO Christian Klein calls the autonomous enterprise. New capabilities include grounded agentic workflows tied directly to customer business context, a shared identity and governance layer for cross-vendor agents, and pre-built integrations with Joule, SAP's AI copilot. SAP says hundreds of joint customers will begin migration this summer, with broad availability slated for the fall.
Turning to early-stage funding.
Sprouts.ai, a Singapore-based revenue intelligence startup, on Friday closed a $9 million pre-Series A round, co-led by True Global Ventures and Accel. The financing brings the company's total raised to $14 million and will fund expansion of its agentic revenue platform for business-to-business enterprises. Sprouts builds what it calls revenue agents, AI workers that pair proprietary intent data with customer relationship management signals to surface in market accounts, draft outbound sequences, and prioritize sales rep time. Customers include Cisco, ServiceNow, and Snowflake. The company says it will use the capital to expand into North America and double its engineering headcount over the next 12 months.
Now to AI infrastructure.
GridCARE, the Stanford spinout pioneering what it calls power acceleration, announced an oversubscribed $64 million Series A this week, led by Sutter Hill Ventures, the firm behind early bets on NVIDIA, Snowflake, and Astera Labs. National Grid Partners, Future Energy Ventures, Laureen Powell Jobs' Emerson Collective, and Stanford University joined the round. GridCARE's Energize platform uses physics-based AI to identify and activate near-term capacity on the existing electrical grid, helping AI factories, utilities, and hyperscalers unlock underused power years ahead of new construction. The company says it has already unlocked more than $10 billion of economic value and is now engaged in over 2 gigawatts of new AI compute capacity across a dozen markets.
From the power grid to geopolitics.
President Donald Trump on Friday said he discussed AI guardrails and the future of NVIDIA's H200 chips with Chinese President Xi Jinping during a 2-day summit in Beijing. Trump told reporters the leaders explored joint frameworks for managing frontier AI risk and addressed the still pending Chinese regulatory approval for NVIDIA's H200 accelerators, which Beijing has yet to clear for purchase by domestic firms. The exchange comes as NVIDIA prepares to ship its next-generation Vera Rubin platform to hyperscalers starting in July. Trade analysts say a green light from Beijing on the H200 would unlock billions in pent-up demand and ease tensions ahead of NVIDIA's earnings report next Wednesday.
Now to the labor market.
Bloomberg reported Friday that the United States is starting to see heavy job losses in roles directly exposed to AI, a shift that economists say marks the clearest evidence yet of a labor crisis taking shape. New federal data shows customer service representatives, administrative assistants, and certain mid-level sales roles posted their second consecutive year of significant declines, with roughly 55,000 2025 layoffs explicitly attributed to AI adoption, more than 12 times the level just 2 years earlier. Coinbase, PayPal, Cloudflare, and Pinterest have all announced major restructurings this month tied to internal AI workflows. Cloudflare alone reported a 600% jump in internal AI usage in 3 months. The Bureau of Labor Statistics will issue updated figures in June.
From workforce to model retirements.
xAI on Friday officially retired several older Grok models, redirecting all programmatic requests to its newest flagship, Grok 4.3. The retirement, effective at noon Pacific Time, applies to legacy versions still served through the xAI Developer API and signals Elon Musk's company is consolidating its model lineup around speed and reasoning. xAI describes Grok 4.3 as the fastest and most intelligent model the company has ever shipped. Separately, Musk this week pushed Grok Build, a new agentic command line tool that can plan projects, write files, run shell commands, and ship applications from natural language prompts. Grok Build is bundled into a new $299 super heavy tier, launching at $99 for early adopters.
On to enterprise workflows.
Airia on Friday launched Form Review Step, a new workflow checkpoint that lets enterprises insert human verification into agentic AI document extraction pipelines. The feature targets a persistent pain point in regulated industries where hallucinated form values or misread fields can carry compliance, billing, or legal consequences. Form Review. Step pauses an automated workflow at any predefined extraction stage, surfaces the model's output alongside the source document, and routes it to a designated reviewer for approval before the workflow continues. Airia says early customers in insurance claims, mortgage origination, and clinical trial intake have seen straight-through processing rates climb above 90%, while audit trails remain intact. The capability is generally available today to Airia enterprise customers.
From earthbound AI to space.
Project Suncatcher, the joint Alphabet and SpaceX initiative to build orbital AI data centers, picked up fresh momentum this week. Bloomberg and the Wall Street Journal report Google and SpaceX are deep in talks to launch 2 prototype satellites under the project by early 2027, with the eventual goal of a constellation of 81 solar-powered satellites running Google's tensor processing units in low Earth orbit. SpaceX, which is preparing for an IPO targeting a $1.75 to $2 trillion valuation, is positioning orbital compute as a strategic differentiator. Anthropic has separately expressed interest in multiple gigawatts of orbital AI capacity. Skeptics warn that thermal management, radiation hardening, and downlink bandwidth remain unsolved engineering hurdles.
Back down to earth and to the car.
Tesla this week began rolling out a native Grok integration inside its mobile app, marking the first time xAI's chatbot is built directly into Tesla's owner experience. The update, version 2026.2.6.1, Lets owners ask Grok plain English questions about vehicle status, charging history, energy use, and trip data, with the assistant translating dense telemetry into conversational answers. The rollout began in Australia and New Zealand and will expand to the US and Europe in the coming weeks. Tesla and xAI confirmed Grok integration will also extend to in-vehicle voice control once the Optimus Digital Initiative reaches its public milestone later this year. The integration deepens Elon Musk's effort to fuse his two flagship businesses.
And finally, a Microsoft deal in motion.
Microsoft is in active talks to acquire Inception, a Stanford-founded startup developing a new method for training large language models, according to multiple reports this week. Inception, which is seeking a sale price above $1 billion, has retained a banker to manage the process. The discussions reflect Microsoft's broader strategy to reduce its dependence on OpenAI by building a portfolio of frontier model partnerships and acquisitions. Microsoft this spring walked away from a potential deal for code generation startup Cursor over antitrust concerns tied to its GitHub Copilot ownership, while SpaceX scooped up a separate option on Cursor for $60 billion. The Inception conversations remain fluid and could still collapse, sources told Reuters.
That's your briefing for Saturday, May 16th, 2026. For DX Today, stay curious.